So, good morning, dear students. Today we'll be starting with the next chapter, Why Do We Fall Ill? So, in this chapter, we'll be discussing as to what is health, the factors which affect our health, the various kind of human diseases, that is the type of diseases, the various causes of the diseases, how they are spread by the help of infectious agents, the manifestations or what are the symptoms of these diseases, what are the various ways by which we can treat them, that is principles of treatment, and how can we prevent from getting these diseases. As you know, we are all, and this pandemic, we are seeing this pandemic of the COVID-19. So we'll be able to understand about that better once we study this chapter as to how this COVID-19 is spreading and what can we do to prevent it. How do we know that a person is suffering from COVID-19? So what are the various ways by which it is spreading and so on. So that is why this was a very relevant chapter. So we are taking it first. Now let's first talk about as to, just quickly revise as to we talked about in the previous chapters, and that is the cell. So we know that cell is a structural and the functional unit of life, the basic structural and functional unit of life. And what are the cells made up of? They are made up of a variety of chemical substances, that is the proteins, carbohydrates, fats or lipids, and so on. So what appears like quite static as though nothing is happening in the cell is not in reality. There are so many things which are happening in a cell. Cell is very dynamic. The activities of there are so many things which are going on in the body. That is, the repair is going on of the cells. New cells are being made every day. Then in our organs or tissues, there are various specialized activities which are going on, like heart is always beating, the lungs are always breathing, the kidneys are always filtering the urine, and so on. It appears that even when we are sleeping, children, it doesn't mean that the body is not doing anything. Everything is going on inside the body, although the mind is at the rest. So that means the body is a dynamic thing. Something or the other is always going on. Now, this body is going to be affected by the various factors, and this body can also have some malfunctioning and so on. And we say that there is something wrong with it. So we talk about illness, or we talk about ill health, and so on. So first we need to understand actually what is health and how does this health feel. So health is not merely being free from diseases. In fact, health involves physical, mental and social fitness. So what is health defined as? It can be defined as a state of well-being enough to function well physically, mentally and socially. So health doesn't only include the physical fitness, that your body is fit and you're able to do about all the various activities, that means you're healthy. No, the health means in totality the well-being of a person physically, mentally and socially. So mentally means his brain is functioning normally, he's not having any kind of problems in the brain or the nervous system and so on. And socially means he's able to adjust in the society where he's living, okay, and he's able to function well in that society. So in totality, health means being fit physically, mentally and socially. Now, this health is being affected by various factors. So we'll now discuss as to what are the various factors by which this health is being affected. So health not only depends on one person, it's not in the person's hand alone. Health is dependent on various factors. So we'll be talking about these factors. So the first of all, we'll be talking about the physical surroundings, right? Now, health of the organisms depends on surroundings, that is the physical environment. So what is in the physical environment? That means there is no garbage, or the streets are cleaner, or there's no open drainage water lying, or no stagnant water lying where we live, because there'll be a possibility of poor health over there, as the public cleanliness is very important. Because if all these things are there in your surroundings, definitely the people around will be affected, because there'll be a lot of germs and all will be there. There'll be flies sitting on the garbage, and like maybe if your home is nearby, any food which is left uncovered, or any kind of things which are there in your kitchen and the flies sit on them, of course they'll be spreading those germs and you might get sick. Also, the stagnant water, the mosquitoes might breed and they'll be spreading diseases and so on. So the physical environment, or the area, like that is going to be affecting the health. Then next is the social environment. So what does social environment mean? It means we live in this like a social environment. That means it must be good for our mental health. So if you are going to be living in isolation, children, you will not be healthy, right? So it's an important factor that the social environment is very important for our individual health, because we live in societies, we live in villages, towns, cities, and in such places, even our physical environment is decided by our social environment. So, physical and social environment. And next, we have the third factor which affects our health is the food. So, children, we have to eat food. It's very important because that is the fuel for our body, and that provides us energy for doing the various activities. So the food has to be nutritious, okay, and it has to be a balanced food so that we get all the required nutrients in adequate amount. Only then our body will remain healthy and disease free. So we have to have a proper balanced food available to us that is going to be affecting our health. And the last is the social equality and harmony, so which is also very necessary for individual health. So we can think of many, like a person is going to be happy if he's going to be in you can say harmony with the place where he's living, and that we do not mistreat each other, we are not afraid of each other, we have all the freedom of expression of speech, and we have the examples of connections between the community issues and the individual health. So the community, or you can say the social equality and harmony, are also very important for the good health.